Good morning, everyone, and a big aloha to you all. Thank you so much for joining us this morning and afternoon for the people that are in New Zealand to learn a little bit more about Aqua-Aston Hospitality and the wonderful Hawaiian Airlines that takes us across to the Aloha Isles. You have two amazing hosts that are uber passionate and have been to this destination probably too many times, in honesty, over the last 10 to 15 years, but we do love it and we are really excited to head back together. So this is not our first time heading across the Yellow Isles together. We've done it before, so this time it's a little bit different. We're actually going to try and invite you to join us. So hopefully many of you saw this opportunity and you've registered your names and details. For everyone who allowed us to know yes or no to the dates, that was fantastic. Perhaps whilst Jen and I are talking today, in the chat box, if you just want to make sure that, yes, you definitively can go from the 3rd to the 7th, which affectionately is the 3rd to the 8th by the time we get going.
Of November.
Of November, sorry. And Dylan, yes. Just as you probably know, we're going to try and announce a winner from this webinar. Oh, someone's really quick onto it. Fantastic. Making sure that when we call you out as a potential winner, we know that you potentially can definitely go. So Jen can arrange the ticketing and I can then arrange. Oh, geez, there's some. Yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. This trip will be a lot of fun. We are working in conjunction with Hawaii Tourism and they're curating all of the land arrangements for us. So in basics, we're going to be obviously flying in on the wonderful Hawaiian Airlines, which for any of you who are home-based has amazing Starlink internet so you can keep on working for those hours across from Sydney. This trip will be departing only from Sydney, so you will need to make your way to and from Sydney as we go. We're going to arrive and we're going to be transferred to the lovely Aqua Palms Hotel, in which we will spend 2 nights enjoying this lovely facility. I'll take you through that hotel in a second, so don't worry. We will then move across to the Ilikai. So we like to save the best till last, and the Ilikai Hotel and Luxury Suites, which is at a grand location. We will be there for Friday night, so there's a good chance we get to see the fireworks as well. So we are super excited about this. We've been planning this for too long, probably, Jen. But it's up and away and we can't wait to take you across with us. So without further ado, let's start this presentation and I'll kick off to start with. All right. So my name is Dylan. I do look after Aqua-Aston Hospitality in the Australian and New Zealand marketplace. I guess what makes us unique is that we have a varied range of properties, but for the bulk, predominantly our hotels and condos are self-contained. So that providing a kitchen, laundry facilities, and size and scale. So just to give you some scope on that, guys, the average size of an Aqua-Aston property room is 55 square meters. The average size of a hotel room is 31 square meters. All right. So I am blessed with a lovely 6-year-old child and the ability to close the door in the evening to put him to sleep while I have my last glass of red and enjoy the beautiful views of Waikiki is advantageous. So just take that into mind when you're thinking about properties, because we know there's some amazing hotels in Waikiki. Oh my God, there's some amazing hotels, but sometimes space does count and so does facilities. We have properties ranging from 3 to 5 star with a range of different offerings because each individual property is individually owned. So we'll start off with Oahu. This is where we will have our familiar. We are just going to be Oahu or Waikiki centric for this trip with some great excursions out. This is your gateway port when you come in on the wonderful Hawaiian Airlines from Sydney as well. So no better, but definitely a best place to start this wonderful adventure with you today. All right. I normally try and say the best till last, but I thought, bug it, let's go with the best at the start. So we do have the gorgeous Espacio, the jewel of Waikiki. This property is luxury personified. Absolutely beautiful, location-wise in the heart of Waikiki Beach, right smack bang in the center. Just to give you some scope, and sometimes closing your eyes to imagine a dreamy location can actually work, but we have 9 floors. We have 9 rooms. So every floor is its own room. Each room is a 3-bedroom suite and it is fully self-contained. Each of these wonderful suites has a glorious hot tub on the balcony, so in the evening you can relax with your glass of champagne as you overlook Waikiki Beach. And on the rooftop, which you can see in the picture there, we do have a lovely infinity pool. Each guest does get a $100 dining voucher from Mugen Restaurant at the base of this property here, which is a 5-star dining experience. And our guests don't take trolleys or taxis, lifts or Ubers. No, our Teslas will take you to and from this gorgeous property. So if you do have the discerning customer, I have put a bit of a note there for best for, just so you can kind of identify A, your business, and B, your customer, to see if they are a great fit for this. And if you need anything more, please reach out. Directly next door to the Espacio, we do have the Aston Waikiki Beach Tower. Now, this hotel is prominent in Waikiki. It's right again in the middle of Waikiki Beach, and it is tall. It sits prominently in the middle there. Any boat trip out, you will see the Aston Waikiki Beach Tower. We are offering 1 and 2 bedroom self-contained apartments, lovely barbecue and dining area here, beautiful views over the wonderful Waikiki Beach, because all you do have is a street in front of you and a bit of sand. Great for the luxury family again. It does price extremely high for a normal apartment by location, and fit out will tell you why. Great for multi-generational travel and your premium FIT guests. This hotel offers so much more, and we do have some fact sheets which are worth having a look at via our linked tourism page. And if you need anything more on that, please let me know after. The Aston Waikiki Sunset. So if anyone's been to Waikiki, you know there's 2 core streets. There's Kalakaua Avenue and there's Kuhia Avenue. The great thing about Kalakaua is that you're right next to the beach, and the best thing about Kuhia is that you are saving money and slightly closer to the shops. So win-win. Aston Waikiki Sunset is actually Australia's #1 sold Aqua-Aston property. It is 1 and 2 bedroom, fully self-contained, with kitchen, laundry, and probably the piece de resistance of this property, an amazing recreation deck. And why I think that's important is that in your free time, yes, you can go to the beach and yes, you can go for a walk, but otherwise you're trapped in your room. So to stay within the property and to have a big pool area, a grass area, a barbecue area, and a sit-down region as well for your guests, this is an amazing opportunity. Your core view from this property is going to be Diamond Head, which is obviously a big attraction for anyone traveling to Hawaii, and a great place to get up and do your morning walks when you are in Waikiki as well. Easy location, probably a 10-minute walk to the beach downtown. You can do a little bit quicker, but I'm generalizing there. But a great opportunity to get people at a cost-effective way across to Hawaii, when sometimes people are a bit concerned with the US dollar, which is currently 70 cents, so not too bad at the moment. Now we have the Aston at the Waikiki Banyan. Now this is Australia's #2 most sold hotel from our property group. Now again, back here to Kuhia Avenue, we do have 1 bedroom, fully self-contained, with kitchen and laundry facilities within, at this wonderful property. This hotel has actually just had its recreation deck closed for 12 months and reopened on the 1st of July this year. This would be our premier family property. The recreation deck is absolutely fun for everyone, ranging from ages 3 up to 99. You can make the most of that space. And again, just another space to use other than just sitting in your hotel room or having to be gallivanting around Waikiki. Really well fitted, well appointed, with view, because prominent view factors over Diamond Head, with partial ocean view options available. We do find a lot of group stay in both Waikiki Banyan and Aston and the Sunset as well, just due to that price point and again of location in Waikiki. Really fun hotel. Now, one of the properties we're staying at on this lovely fam with Jen is the Ilika Hotel and Luxury Suites. Now, this is a premier property indeed. It's most famous for being the hotel used in the Hawaii 5-0 TV series many moons ago. The best thing for you guys, it's had many upgrades since that TV show was on the air, but it sits now at the Ala Moana end of Waikiki Beach. If you're a bit like Jen and myself and been there a few times, to be in the Ala Moana side of Waikiki is sometimes advantageous. Why? It's quieter. We don't have all the hype of downtown Waikiki keeping you up at night, which is a lot of fun indeed. But you still have a 12 to 15-minute walk to get to downtown, so it's easily accessible. But being right next door to the Hilton Hawaiian, which I know most of you guys will know, you are blessed with prime views over the Friday fireworks. We are offering studios, 1 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms at this particular property, all self-contained. Wonderful pool deck area there for you to relax in. And probably the coolest thing about this property, other than the Hawaii 5 is that we do have an ice cream restaurant on facility, and every guest is entitled to a scoop of ice cream each and every day. So whether that's for your child or whether the child within yourself, please enjoy that lovely ice cream when you stay with us. Now, the other property we're staying with on our fam is the Aqua Palms Waikiki. So just down the road from Ilakai, also on the Ala Moana end of town. This is an all hotel property here with great price point, super duper, actually both properties here, super duper access to your cruise customer. So if any of you crazy kids are selling that Sydney to Honolulu or vice versa, Honolulu to Sydney, I would actually pick this hotel as your prime option because you're a short hit straight through to the port of Honolulu. And also, worst case, you've got a direct line out to the airport without any of the Waikiki traffic. Saying this is a hotel, it has the normal hotel facilities, but some of the cool things that we have at this property for your guests. At the bottom, we have an IHOP restaurant attached to the property. So if anyone's been to the States, you know what IHOP is. If you haven't been to IHOP before or know about it, you have some of the biggest, most ostentatious pancakes in the world. A triple stack of pancakes would really, really get you going for the whole day, really. But we also have a new Mexican restaurant, which just opened up 2 months ago at the property as well. So we have Aloha Amigo at this property too. So again, you're in a hotel, you don't have the self-contained nature of the other properties, but you've got an easy breakfast and an easy dinner option there to take advantage of. And Aloha Amigo's price point is brilliant. I was just on the website earlier trying to plan for my little adventure, and a great option there. So easy pool. Again, at hotels, not every hotel has a pool in Waikiki because the best pool in the world is across the road. But to have that convenience, A, access to shopping, B, access to cruise, and C, access to airport. This is definitely a premier property and a super duper price point. All right, we'll jump ship. We've hopped on Hawaiian Airlines. We're jumping across the Oahu to Maui. So Aqua-Aston, we do have 10 properties in Oahu and 7 properties in Maui. I'm not taking you through them all today because I know you guys will have to work as well. But I'll go on some of my favorites to help you understand the 2 core regions and why you'd stay at each. All right. So on Kanapali Beach, Kanapali is where the predominant option for you guys generally selling Maui is. It is great for your 3 to 4 night stays in Maui. You do need a car in Maui, guys. I'm also the Alamo rep, but you do need the car in Maui, guys. There's so much to see and do, and to be stuck just in Kanapali will really limit what you can achieve whilst you're out there. On the top end of Kanapali Beach, we do have the Aston Kanapali Shores, offering 1 and 2 bedroom, fully self-contained condominiums, so kitchens, bathrooms, laundries, everything tied into the one. But now we are in a resort environment. So we do have a restaurant, we do have a bar, so you can actually mix it up really, really well. So coming up from the airport, stop at the supermarket, grab some eggs and bacon, toast and cereals. That gets your morning started. Jump in your car, go sightseeing galore, come back in the afternoon and enjoy yourself around that pool, around our barbecue setups and around the paddleball tennis courts as well, because everyone in the States has to play paddleball. Just next door to it, we do have the Aston Papakea Resort, also offering 1 and 2 bedroom, fully self-contained, again offering resort features of restaurants and bars included at this property, and a nice, easy location. Now, both of these properties being on the northern end of Kanapali Beach means we do have direct beach access. Some of the properties you'll see do have a concrete boardwalk, which is fantastic to traverse the area there when you're going with your kids or you can get a morning run. But to have direct access to the beach is pretty special. What makes this property kind of fun and unique as well for your customers is that we do have 2 putting greens attached onto this property. So anyone knows that Hawaii is a grand golf destination. So if you do have golf groups, or you don't mind a putt yourself, or you're warming up or cooling down from your big day of golf, this is a great property to choose and use. And for Australians, the one thing you're going to love more than anything is that there is no resort fees at Papakea Resort. All right, so you do get to save yourself some good money there. Just into the heart of Kanapali Beach, we have Aston the Whaler on Kanapali. So this property is brilliant in the sense that it is right in the mix of downtown Kanapali Beach. But it's also attached to Whalers Village, which is sort of the shopping and restaurant dining facility precinct on Kanapali without going into the town. 1 and 2 bedroom fully self-contained properties here, barbecue facilities, fantastic pools, restaurants, bars, but a sneaky entrance directly into the Whalers Village as well. So you don't have to actually walk all the way out of the hotel to get to Whalers. You can walk from a direct path into the village. What that enables your customers to enjoy as well as staying at this beautiful resort is the accessibility of the trolley. The trolley will take you into the town as well as options into the local golf course as well. So you don't, in this instance, then have to worry about your car. Or if you think you'd have a couple of sherbets with your dinner, you don't have to worry about driving home that night. All of the properties I'm mentioning today do have car parking included in their rates, so don't be worried there. And we've had some major cost savings on this property kick in only last month. So they've taken about $45 US off their daily rate as well, which is a great saving. Now, I've talked about Kanapali. I'm now going to move across to the other side of town, to Kihei. So Kanapali, correct me if I'm wrong, Jen, about 45-minute drive, give or take, from the airport. And then Kihei is about 25 to 30-minute drive down from the airport too. Kanapali, I sell for your short stay, your 3 or 4 night experience. Yes, you can do longer, but that's just being very generalist. Whereas Kihei, I say stay for your long term. Or if you have that sort of slightly higher end customer, Kihei can be a nice relaxing escape. One of our properties here is the Aston at the Maui Banyan. So beautifully appointed, self-contained 1 and 2 bedroom apartments located here. Tennis courts, barbecues, loads and loads of space, but only 5 minutes from the downtown shopping precinct of Maui. So Maui of Kihei. So you can get your groceries, get your goods, get your stuff really simply. Now, the beach here is super duper quiet. So if you're traveling with young kids, it can be advantageous because you don't have the cool waves coming across, which is lovely, but you also don't have the crowds. So this is always a popular location for people with younger families or people who just want to relax away from all the hype. All right, so let's move on to my favorite. Now, if you looked up Hawaii in the dictionary, I think you see Kauai. I've been here a couple of times and I've been here with Jen as well. And this place absolutely captures my heart every time I go there. I think it's stunning. And, you know, probably one of the first big islands that were ever created from the volcanic movement back in the early days of Hawaii's evolution. So a must to put on your customers' radar. We are blessed to have 2 properties on Kauai and 2 separate locations completely. So our first property is the Aston Islander on the beach. Now, this is just north of the airport and does include a free transfer from the airport to the property. Now, I mentioned it in Maui and I'm going to mention it again for Kauai. Make sure your customers are grabbing a car. There's so much to see on this island. And if anyone's worried about driving on the wrong side of the road, Kauai kind of has one major highway with a couple of sub roads off it. It's so easy to get around. You can't get lost, but it does just gives you the enablement to do and see whatever you want, whenever you want. This is a hotel within our group here, so not fully self-contained at all, but wonderfully spread out, beautiful rooms. It attracts more of a couple's vibe, a honeymooners vibe. Whilst we don't say no to kids, it doesn't attract the family market as much. So a nice peaceful place to call home whilst you're in Kauai, with easy access to the north and the south with its position on Kauai Island. Now, this is just a bloody cool property. I love Aston at Poipukai. Now, this, you know, most of our resorts on Maui, just to give you some scope, and even using Islander, are about 10 to 15 acres, which is a good sized resort, you know. Aston at Poipukai is 70 acres of land. It is an absolute monstrous, huge resort with so much for your customers. So starting off with the facilities, we have 1 and 2 bedroom, fully self-contained apartments or condos with laundry facilities available for your guests here. But we also have 2 and 3 bedroom private homes. All right. So if you've got people coming here for a longer period of time, multi-generational travel, girls trips, golf trip, whatever it might be, this property really has an accommodation option that will suit. Poipu is on the south of the island, and I call it downtown, but when you drive through, it's pretty chill and relaxing, very super Hawaiian, but it is sort of the cool, fun hub of the Kauai Island. So shops, restaurants, amenities, etc. Are all located in this precinct. We do have a wonderful cafe on resort as well for the Australians. 7 pools, loads of tennis courts, loads of barbecue facilities, and beach access, but depending on where your room is, you will have to walk across the resort to get to the beach. Definitely, but really well appointed and a super popular option for any of our guests staying here. About a 25-minute drive to Waimea Canyon. If you haven't heard of Waimea Canyon before, it's the Grand Canyon of Hawaii and a definite must-see when you do it. I would also recommend here to grab your helicopters, definitely, to get a chance to go and see the Nepali coastline, and Waimea is something absolutely beautiful. And last but by no means least, we do have one amazing property there. Girls trip, love that. One lovely hotel located on the big island of Hawaii. If anyone follows the big island on social media, you'll see that she's been misbehaving so much this year. She's, I think, currently spilling lava out quite heavily again on the southern region of Kilauea. So keep your eyes open. If you get a chance to see it when you're there, which I have done on a cruise ship from the water, which was good, and also on land, it is something special. I'm going to call out quickly my favourite thing to do. I'm going to call out Jen's favourite thing to do, only because I know Jen so well. This is the home of coffee. And being a sales rep, obviously, I live and breathe by coffee. And Jen's favourite thing is water. And afternoon/evenings, you can go out on a boat and go swimming with those amazing, beautiful manta rays, and that has to be a must-do tick for you guys if you're going to head across. And the volcano can be a secondary. That can be total secondary, I'd say. But our one beautiful property here, just south of the airport, is Aston Kona by the Sea. So we do have studios, 1 bedrooms, and 2 bedrooms right across the beach here. And I think the drama of this hotel is that obviously being on the big island, we do have the volcano that's created it and keeps building it day in, day out. But you have that beautiful black on the edge of the beach there as you come through. You know you're in volcano country, even when you're sitting there at the resort with your pina colada in your hand. The shopping area is just a 5-minute drive behind the property there. So once you're driving in from the airport, yes, you need a car. Get a car. Please have a car. Please get your food and drinks from the shops on the way through. Pull up, set yourself up, make yourself at home, and enjoy the drives. There's some amazing activities. Obviously, I've touched on a couple there. There's also a brewery for anyone who likes a beer or two. Some amazing zip lining, and Rainbow Falls is currently the biggest waterfall almost in the world at the moment. It's with that storm with Lala at the moment. Rainbow Falls is actually huge versus being a cute little tourist stop when you're en route. So again, guys, I guess the biggest thing from my point of view, before we jump on to the way you get around the place, is multi-island is key. All right. Yes, Waikiki is amazing. It's wonderful and very touristic. The second you can jump out to the outer islands, that's where you're going to really experience that aloha spirit that Hawaii offers. It is a beautiful place and somewhere that you need to get off and see yourselves. And some of you will come and join us definitely soon in Hawaii in November. Okay, Jen, if you want to try and take over from me here, any of the resources that you need, here are my details there. You can save the QR code on file. We do have amazing fact sheets available on our linked tourism Aqua-Aston page. If you do ever need these or want these, A, for yourself, B, for your customers, you can grab them there. But I'm always available for training, updates, sales calls, conferences, meeting, beers, wines, soft drinks, coffees. But without further ado, I'm going to hand over to the person that will get us across to Hawaii. Thanks, Jen.
Awesome. Thanks, Dill. And look, he's obviously clearly had a few coffees this morning. So it's great to sort of see that kicked in for that presentation. But I will certainly, converse that getting yourself out to the outer islands is where you're going to experience that true, authentic Hawaiian. And just actually looking at the lushness of the resorts is just absolutely sort of beautiful. So thanks for taking us on that journey, Dill. So Hawaiian Airlines, so just to get us sort of started, because I know there's been a number of sort of changes with our integration merger sort of with Alaska Airlines. So I just wanted to kind of just eliminate any sort of concerns as to the fact that maybe Hawaiian Airlines is no longer operating into this particular region. So yes, Hawaiian Airlines has merged with Alaska Airlines. We are two distinct brands operating under one operational certificate. So that means the Hawaiian Airlines brand obviously remains, and equally so does the Alaska Airlines brand. But what's possibly been noted is that there's no longer the HA code in the GDS, which is why this has caused some confusion. So the way that you will find the Hawaiian Airlines operated services is now using the AS code. So it'll be an AS code out of Sydney. AS 852 will be the flight number where it previously was HA 852. There should be a notation to say that it's Alaska Airlines operated as Hawaiian Airlines. So you can actually see that distinction. It is a Hawaiian Airlines aircraft. It is the Hawaiian Airlines crew and that authentic hospitality that customers that have flown with us previously will continue to receive. A real positive out of it has been that we've got our 2x23 kilos of checked luggage. So that's great. And any one of those items can be the sporting equipment like golf clubs, skis, because people do travel on to us onto the mainland US with skis. Yes, exactly. Great for shopping, that for sure it is. And the combined loyalty program is called Atmos Rewards. Customers that were our Hawaiian Airlines Hawaiian Miles members, yes, golf clubs can be used, can be taken. So it's Atmos, the Hawaiian Miles members have been transferred over to Atmos Rewards. So there wasn't anything that they needed to do. It is just the new Atmos Rewards number. So hopefully that's just eliminated any concerns or confusion that Hawaiian Airlines is no longer operating out of this particular region. So flying with Hawaiian Airlines, so we're an all full service airline. So what that means is once you've paid for your sort of ticket and taxes, everything is included. It's a convenient sort of departure out of Sydney with an evening departure, arriving sort of mid-morning into Honolulu, clear immigration and customs. And if you are staying in Waikiki, head to your hotel, or if you are transiting and heading over to one of the neighbour islands, you will collect your bag because it is your first entry into the US. You'll drop it off at the bag drop and then clear the actual TSA security again for your onward sort of journey to either the neighbour islands, or if you are continuing on to the mainland. We don't charge change fees, and we haven't charged change fees since post-COVID. So the only difference you will pay there is if there is any additional collection, if there is a fair difference. Make note of those particular special meals that you can order, and they do need to be requested 48 hours prior to their outbound sort of journey. And Starlink. So we've got the Starlink on our A330 aircraft. It's free for all of our guests on board. And so obviously sort of streaming has become quite a common sort of a way of passing sort of these 10-hour flights between Sydney and Honolulu. So just touching on our network. So obviously now being a part of the Alaska Air Group means that we've now got access to a much broader network. So, apart from sort of like the pink section which is our Hawaiian Airlines routes, where our furthest east coast is New York. So again, Honolulu being that central sort of point, and then over to New York. That's our longest Honolulu to New York service. And then you've got all of that blue section, which is the Alaska routes. From this particular region, we will have those through fares to the network with Alaska on the mainland US. And just to sort of point out that we have started that Seattle to London, a Seattle to Rome, and a Seattle to Reykjavik service, which was earlier this particular year. And we're just working sort of through having those 3 fares from this region, which would require a 2-stop, obviously, in Honolulu and Seattle for that outbound. But you can do open jaws, so you can go into Seattle and out of Anchorage to come back into, come in via Honolulu, or into any one of our actual cities and out of another for that open jaw itinerary. The Hawaiian Islands, I mean, this is where Hawaiian Airlines started over 97 years ago. There's regular flights between the neighbour islands, over 140 in fact. We've recently announced a big sort of focus on the fleet that we're actually going to be servicing the neighbour islands, so it will be upgraded to the 737. So currently it's the smaller aircraft, 717. So the 737s will be operating sort of through to the neighbour islands, more room in the belly for those bigger sort of long boards. For those sort of surfers that love to sort of head to Hawaii. The free stopover in Honolulu. So our airfares out of Australia, if you're heading on to the neighbour island or even onto mainland US, do allow a stop in Honolulu in one of those directions. So again, just reinforcing to your customers that are travelling up to Hawaii to go and sort of seek and experience the beautiful neighbour islands because their airfares permit that stop in Honolulu. And probably great to know that it's actually common rated out of Australia. So for our fares, when we sort of basically advise, they are sort of Australia to Hawaii. The difference in the price to the neighbour islands is roughly around $10 in taxes. Again, allows a stop in Honolulu, pop yourself over to one of the neighbour islands and experience that amazing Hawaiian hospitality. 2x23 bags would be included to the neighbour island as well, as long as it's part of the international ticket. Okay, so the Sydney Honolulu sector is very key in making sure the actual baggage is included. So just quickly on our product, so it's the A330 aircraft that operates between Sydney and Honolulu. It's a 3-class cabin. We've got our business or first class, as it's referred to in North America, in the forward cabin. It's a lie-flat product and has been so for a very long time. The blue section is now called premium class, and I'll touch on just a couple of changes with that soon. But that's the extra legroom product on board. It's the same main cabin seating, but it just gives you that 5 inches of extra legroom, which certainly for that overnight sort of service is great to have. It's where people that want to have a bassinet require to sit in this particular section. So it would require them to upgrade. And then you've got your main cabin, which is in the pink section there. No direct flight from Melbourne. That's correct. I'm just going to quickly touch on just our fare types and just some ticketing and reissues in the next couple of slides. So we've grouped our fares into fare families. So we've got either it's a main cabin fully refundable or a main cabin refundable sort of fare. And likewise, that's the same with our premium class as well. And with the premium class, it's not premium economy. I don't want anybody to get confused about this being the same product as a premium economy that Qantas would have. And that's why I specify that it is the main cabin economy seat with the 5 inches of extra legroom. It's certainly priced competitively to reflect that particular sort of product. So our fares, they have a 7-day ticketing time limit. So it's not instant sort of purchase. And these are fares from Australia. So these are fares that would have that Sydney-Honolulu sector. And as I mentioned, obviously you've got that ability to be able to book out to the neighbour island as part of that sort of stopover with the extra $10 in taxes. Children 2 to 11 years are 75% of the adult fare, and an infant who's under 2, not occupying a seat, would be charged 10% of the adult sort of fare. So if they are turning 2 on the journey, they would be needed to be sort of purchased a child fare. For our customers, and I know there's been lots of comments about Melbourne or Brisbane direct flights. So what we typically do is where we have a Sydney-Honolulu fare that's released, the actual Brisbane or Melbourne will also be common rated at that sort of particular price, but in a booking class lower than what the Sydney-Honolulu RBD would be. You have the option to be able to book either Qantas or Virgin for those domestic sectors in the particular booking classes that I've got on the screen. And our AS code share would be on Qantas now, being that we are a one world carrier. Bags would be tagged from origin, so from Brisbane or from Melbourne, or from Adelaide or Perth, wherever they're actually sort of coming from, through to Honolulu, actually through to their final destination. But I did mention that they need to collect their bags in Honolulu. So there is no need for them to collect their bag in Sydney. It would be sort of transited onto the international sector, and then they get their boarding pass for the Sydney-Honolulu flight. So reissues, I mentioned there's no change fees. It's just the additional collection if that sort of applies. Before departure, so if there's not been a change to the first international sector, the reissue can be to either historical fare originally purchased or the current fare, so whichever is lower. It's not a requirement for you to receive a waiver code. This is actually something you can do where obviously there is that change, but there's not been a change to the first international sector. If change has been made to the first international sector, then the current fares must be used. And then obviously post-departure, you can reissue to historical fares only. Tickets can be held in credit, and the reissue must be within 1 year from the original date of issue. And I just wanted to make a quick note just around churning, and this is just to avoid ADMs, okay? So you'll receive a USD $50 ADM for, you know, that repeat and recreation in the same PNR is just to actually create a new PNR if any of if you need to sort of cancel and rebook. Wholesale fares. Now, wholesale fares provide a great opportunity sort of for some additional sort of margin when it comes to, you know, obviously the fares, the fare difference from a published or retail fare where we pay 1% sort of BSP, or these particular wholesale fares that will automatically apply off our published fares, whether it's a general market fare or whether we've obviously got a short life special and market. Minimum requirement for us is that it needs 2 nights of land or cruise. We don't specify a dollar value that that needs to be attached to the actual sort of land. You'll be able to locate this with the passenger type ITX, and if the ticket designator is the WSAU. And the discount that applied, you'll see them is off specific booking classes, so G to L. For economy, you'll get the 8% if it's low or shoulder season and 5% if it's high season. High season typically for Hawaiian is really school holidays and that Christmas sort of period in December and January. And there's also wholesale fares off our business class, which is I to C, and that's 5% whether it's low shoulder or high season. And please also note that there's obviously the children's discount that would apply there as well. So premium class. So there has been some changes to how you now book the premium class in the GDS. Prior to this, it used to be that you would issue a main cabin fare, and then when you'd go into the actual seat map, you'd click on sort of the extra comfort area of the aircraft, and payment would be via an EMD. Now it's a branded fare, and the price of the actual extra legroom premium class product is already a part of the fare. So the way that you're going to do this is you're actually going to book the premium bundled fare in the GDS. You're going to then ticket the premium class fare, and then once it's ticketed, you're then going to go on to hawaiianairlines.com.au, and under Find My Trip, click on View or Change Seats, and you'll notice on this particular display, the green section is the premium class seating, and in the bottom right-hand corner, there's 0 charge. That's because the system knows that the premium class has already been paid for, and you're going to just click on the seat and save, and that will be confirmed. The alternative way to the premium class product is that you'll just issue the main cabin fare, and then you just go into the website as normal under Manage Booking and Find My Trip, and do the seating that way. But payment on the website would be via a credit card. So that's the only way you can actually do that as an alternative. There's no way prior to actually booking the premium class in the GDS. The seat map will actually, all of the green section will be grayed out. So you will need to look on the website to see if premium seating is available before you go ahead and book that. Upclassing. So just touching on this, because this is actually a really great sort of tool to know about, sort of for the customers that are actually traveling from Honolulu onto either the neighbor island or onto the mainland US, is that where you've got your booking classes from G to S, you can book two higher booking classes in order to be able to access the same or that lower sort of fare that you've already booked. And for your booking classes from V to Bravo class, it allows you up to one higher booking class to be able to book on that neighbor island or mainland US sector in order to sort of like take advantage of that lower fare. Just touching on a couple of policies, so name correction. So you can, this is if it's a completely unused ticket, and if you haven't, if you do have the ability to be able to void the ticket until midnight on the day that it's actually been issued. But for a couple of the minor name corrections, you know, you can sort of send through the request, and I'll take you through our portal soon to receive the waiver code in order for this to be, in order for the actual name correction to be fixed for you. Round the world fares. So now that Hawaiian is a part of the Alaska Air Group, We are the 16th member of the One World Global Alliance, which is absolutely sort of fantastic for us. It now sort of, we've got sort of a network sort of spanning 1,000 destinations across 170 plus countries. So mentioned sort of like the fact that we're One World. So obviously that also means for customers that are frequent flyer, their status is recognised, and obviously the various reciprocal benefits like additional baggage, like access into lounges, and it also means access to being a part of the Round the World fair that you can sort of book for your customers. You would know how to find Round the World fairs in the system, and certainly sort of the One World Explorer or the Global Explorer Fair, we can now be a part of those journeys. And I do hear quite often how people do like to sort of add Hawaii as part of that round the world trip. Now they do have that option, which is very exciting. Just quickly, resources where we've got sort of support sort of for you, and you might want to take note of just that sales agency support website, and just sort of add it to your favorites. So this is where you would seek information, request a waiver or a favor, or if you have any particular disputes that you need to sort of like flag with us, schedule changes, those any particular queries, just add it, just to sort of put it through sort of like the agency portal. We've got a couple of ladies in Sydney, Kaz and Celeste, who man our agency support area, and this is where all of the queries come through to them sort of this way. It becomes an area where we respond to the emails within the portal as well, so it's not lost through emailing people sort of directly. So a really sort of great portal sort of like to know sort of for that sort of support with us and our team. So just on some contacts, reservations, of course, is always your first port of sort of support there as well. Please take note of that number, the agency support portal there as well. The groups are for 10 or more customers traveling to either Hawaii or even on to mainland US. Our groups team are there to sort of be able to provide those quotes sort of for you. I've got Alba's details there. She's my colleague. She's based in New South Wales. And then also my details as well. Clearly a very much younger sort of photo of me, I think, Dill, but anyway, I'll take it. So just on that, I wanted to say a huge big mahalo to each and every one of you sort of for jumping on and being a part of it, and giving us your time sort of this morning sort of as well. So did you have any particular parting words, Dill?
Thanks for the guys who've left that little research project assignment I put in the middle there. Just, when Jen and I do sales calls to come and meet with you and we hear some of the stories, it's kind of interesting to sort of understand the good, the bad and the ugly of travel at the moment. If I speak to any of your wholesale partners, USA still ranks in your top 2 to top 3 sold destinations, and Hawaii sits at number 1 for most of them as well. So Hawaii is definitely selling some positive notes just to help some of you guys out, because I think some might be trapped in a mindset. The US dollar is 10% higher right now than it was last year. So it's 10% cheaper than it was last year for your customers to go over and enjoy Hawaii. So take advantage of that. It is seemingly expensive, but it's just a US thing because there's tipping and taxes, etc., etc. So most of your customers will be aware, and as long as you talk that through to them in that booking inquiry phase, it does make life a hell of a lot easier. But I do appreciate that. For the guys and gals who've put down their yeses to be involved in the film, for me, I think only 10 people have put down yeses, so that's limited our pool. So if anyone hadn't put down a yes that really wants to come to Hawaii, speak now, forever hold your peace. We'll be taking this list offline to then put your names into a drawer to pull out. Yes. Your pool came on late. Here we go. Oh, Jesus Christ. Whoa. Jen, we need another plane, mate. We need another plane. But again, we both appreciate your time. Thank you ever so much for joining us on this webinar. We will be, hopefully we recorded it, so if there's anything you need, we can share it back to you. Or if you have any colleagues in your office that you think could benefit from this, they can obviously watch it with a cup of coffee in their own time as well. But from both of us, mahalo. We do love your business. We do love supporting you guys. And please, as always, reach out when you need to help sell the wonderful Aloha Isles. But I've been Dylan, Jen has been Jen, and you guys have been absolutely bloody amazing. Thank you ever so much for your time. Mwah.
Thanks for your time, everybody. Mahalo. Have a great
Bye,
day.
guys. Click, click, click.
Did we cover all of the questions in the chat?